Open the refrigerator and go and fresh cream anyway. Well, that's morning. And that's a motto. I don't know. That's good morning, but take a week again. I don't know the whole weekend already. Good morning, guys, and welcome to FYI. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see so many of you on the live already. Good to have each and every one of you. Beatrice Selby, I see Pamela. Joanna just came in. A little grumpy this morning. Fennel Innes is here. Delon Frank is here as well. Joanna's give a grunt, and I know the whole weekend, know the whole story. Delon Frank is here. Beatrice Selby is here as well. Good to see you folks wherever you are joining us from today. Thanks for joining us. Had a little snafu there as we started, but good to see you. Joy, Pamela, and Delon Frank. Beatrice is here. Hazel, Vera, McIntosh is here as well. Good to see you. Tessa Isaacs, Graves Andy. All the folks we come to love and appreciate being part of the FYI family. Folks, it's Monday, believe it or not, the 14th day of November already. 14th day of November tomorrow, half month. And folks, it might as well have been at the end of December because the year is running out so rapidly and so fast. And we hope that you're so much closer to your goals, your dreams, your aspirations. If you're not, accomplished those things you set out as the year started, we are hopeful, guys, that you're so much closer. You are so much closer. Good to have each and every one of you here with us. Fantastic group of people to be starting not only the morning with, but the week as well. Marcelo Hope, that's what we need. A little bit more hope, guys. Things are gonna be okay. Brighter days are before us. The best is yet to come. Lorna Jeffrey, good to see you, and Dale Jones, welcome as well. Amanda Daniels is here. Carol Rollins is here as well. I see Lorna Jeffrey's here. Will be a little extra Joffrey. Good to have you. And Vashti Magnol. Good to have you, Vashti, joining us all the way from Canada. Good to have Vashti. And good to have Rupert, because if Vashti's here, Rupert is here as well. Rihanna Bingo is here too. Good to have you. Fantastic, fantastic folks join us this morning. Julian Armstrong is with us. And we see Dale Jones. And of course, the one and only, the always welcome and the always lovely Beatrice Selby is here as well. Well, you all know Candy Foot is always short. And then you got Giselle Chipper, foot always short too. But good to have those folks who are always out and about very, very early all together to teeth two of Drita's phrases, all together and out and about. Good to have you folks, Vashti and Julian. Facebook user, 2 Facebook users are around. What are the odds you'd have folks on with the same name that the parents give them? Facebook user. What are the odds you'd have that? Yolanda Thomas, good to have you folks. It's Monday. It's good weather outside. It's fair weather at our end. How things by you folks, and what's on the menu for breakfast? We're going to have some tea around these parts, and we're going to look to see what you guys are having. No doubt, some of you having bacon, eggs, and saltfish and plantains, and those highfalutin bushy things. We just got a black tea this side and move things along. But good to have you, Yolanda Thomas and Beatrice Selby. Yolanda says, I dare he is too. I dare he. Well, Drita just hate this morning. Just hate. There's the energy. And I dare he. Drita hate. But good to have you too, out front parts. Yeah. Always out front with the parts. Out front parts. Good to have you. And Roxanne Andrews, fantastic, good-natured, peaceful, uncontroversial people. Just the way we like you guys. Guys, it's Monday. Believe it or not, we're in the center of November. Yep. Believe it or not. Keep on keeping on, guys. Share the live. As we say, we always come in. Smash that emoji button. Cross post, guys. If you got a cross post, do what you need to do. Share the live. Smash that emoji button for us. And partner with us too. We've been telling you this is the anniversary month, folks. And we cannot do it without you all. We've done it, for 2 years. We've been out here. 2 years we've been out here. carried a lot of it on our own. The damn thing is getting so much bigger than us. And so we rely on you guys for your support on a monthly basis. We rely on you fantastic people for your support. And you know, guys, we're available via Cash App and Zelle, PayPal, MMG, MoneyGram, Western Union. Each donation, folks, each donation helps to keep our program going. Nothing I'm buying we here, you know. You know, we building a house, we buying car and so on, and no side chick on this on this side. Right? No side chick in this business, folks. It's just you here with us, family, folks, and you help us every month to keep it going. You know, we're still trying to get over last month the responsibilities and the expenses that come with hosting all of these programs on a daily basis. Still trying to get over that, and we know that you guys are going to help us. We know that you guys are going to help us. Again, we're available via Cash App and Zelle and PayPal, MMG, MoneyGram, and Western Union. That's how it's going. You have any queries, folks? 627-6963. It's beautiful weather outside. We want to give you a sense of what's happening outside today, folks. It's beautiful weather. Beautiful weather, at least in the national capital city and on the periphery, the national capital city of Georgetown. That is, if you're not too certain where we're joining you from. Shade of light, folks. Thomas Clinton, smash that emoji button for us, Thomas. Loretta Argyle and BHS, Roxanne Andrew, smash that emoji button for us. Pamela and all the other folks who are joining us. Good to see our YouTube channel is really, really growing, and we're so pleased about that. But good to see each and every one of you folks. Here's a beautiful shot of the Harbour Bridge, a live shot of the Harbour Bridge. Compliments of Pixel Guyana Inc. A beautiful, beautiful shot of the Harbour Bridge. Traffic seems to be flowing very nicely there, folks. Very, very nice. The guys can pull up a little bigger first so we can get a set. Yeah, here it is. Beautiful shot of the Harbour Bridge there in Bagglestown on the east bank. Good flowing traffic. Yep, there you have it, folks. There you have it. Policemen seem to be on the job, understanding the assignment there. Understand this. Folks, you're using the roadways. Be cautious, be careful, be considerate, and all the other C's. Guys, take it easy there. And all the other C's. Yep, there you have it. There you have it, guys. Live shots of the Harbour Bridge. Good to have each and every one of you who are joining us this morning. And it looks as though they opened the oncoming lane. What lane is that? That is the westbound lane to traffic going down as well. So you got 3-lane traffic heading into Joshua. Folks, be cautious out there, please. Look out for pedestrians. Look out for pedestrians. Yeah, thanks for that, guys. Look out for pedestrians. That's what's happening live, folks, right by the Harbour Bridge. From the corner. Right by the Harbour Bridge. Thank you so much for that shot, guys. Good to see you, Lorna Jeffrey and Roxanne and Out Front Parts. Folks, share the live. Smash that emoji button. We try every day to make the program a little better for you guys. We tweak it. We're in the final place if we'll ever get there. We're always tweaking, trying to make it more informative. Bringing you folks the kind of news we think that you want to know about. And you said, you know, we want to know what's happening here and there because you're fast, especially folks joining us on Facebook. Good morning to those guys who are joining us via Twitter, those guys who are joining us via LinkedIn, those guys who are joining us via we got YouTube and, you know, all the other places, but Facebook, that's the fastest. Y'all always want to know. Fitzherbert Cherrick is joining us. Really good to see Fitzherbert and Lennox and Lorna and all the other guys, Gregory Lovell. I see so many of you, Lennox Anderson, joining us, and Gladstone Matthews. A fantastic Monday morning to you, a productive day to each and every one of you. We hope that you get the chance to start the day on a very, very high note. Judy's going to join us in a little bit. I can disappear, but I can come back at just the right time. You know, some people could time apart good. I am coming at just the right time. Just the right time to get that cook up nice and wet and moist with all the things in it, folks. And come back just in time. She's going to join us in just a little bit, folks. In just a little bit. I wish we could have shown a full shot of Jurita, because shake a barrel, and it shows shake a barrel. But good to see each and every one of you. She's going to join us in just a little bit, folks. Again, Fitzherbert is here, and Lorna and Lennox, and I see Gregory Lovell is here too. Gladstone Matthews and Horace Calder is here too. Good to have you, fantastic, wonderful folks join us. It's our privilege to host each and every one of you folks. Share the live, smash that emoji button, and the guys are going to tell us whether we are properly cross-post and, you know, we share the wrong and all of those other things. Guys, what are you having for breakfast? Fitzherbert, what are you having? No doubt, Fitzherbert having some, one of those healthy cereals, one of those healthy, grains and wheat, whole wheat and, those fancy things, them bushy people is have on a Monday morning. Wendy Caesar, good to see you, Wendy, and all those other folks who's joining us. Good to see Wendy, and I see Anthony Lindo is here as well. Good morning, Anthony, and we hope it's fantastic where you are. Lots to cover in the morning papers. Judy is going to tell us how her weekend was. I think, she was at the theater over the weekend. I know some of our production team too went to the theater over the weekend. Big theater goers there. Lots of theater goers at this end. Lots of theater going at this end. And Judy's going to tell us a little bit about that. You see what I'm telling you about? Now, Fitzherbert is telling us he had listened to the story here. Hazelnut coffee and bagel. No, bushy. Hazelnut coffee and bagel. Fitzherbert has had this morning. Good for you, Chief. Good for you. Good for you. Yeah. In better circumstances and perhaps in a better economy, we could have been having hazelnut coffee and a bagel ourselves. But until such time, respect our manners, Fitzherbert. Respect our manners. Good to have, I see Anton Nicholson joining us, and Wendy. Good to have you, Wendy, and Horace, and all the other fantastic, beautiful, as I said, good-natured, peace-loving, uncontroversial people joining us this morning. It's our privilege. Last to share with you, the Alliance for Change, my party of choice decided not to run in local government election. Had a very, very robust meeting over the weekend. Lots of views, folks. And then party members put it to a vote. And the guys, all things considered, said, you know what? You got to take a principled stand here. This list here, we know that this list has problems. And get it right, or, we're going to take a back seat and do some other stuff in the meantime. We're going to be talking a little bit about that too. Wilton Blue, good to see you. Amelia Daniels, good to have you as well. Good to have Wilton and all the other folks who are joining us there. Good to have you. Fantastic. How was your weekend? Did you guys go to the theater? What did you guys see over the weekend? And perhaps you can let us know too, what are some of the headlines making the front pages where you are, folks? What are the headlines making those front pages? Judy's coming fully decked out. She looks like hazelnut this morning a little bit too. Hazelnut and pearls. Folks, I tried that. I'll try the hazelnut and pearls this morning for you all. She's stepping out this morning. Large and in charge. Yep. Yolanda Thomas, good to have you as well, Yolanda. And David Wood. David, welcome. Welcome. Trust that you guys have had a fantastic weekend. Yep. Good to have that. And, we had over the weekend too, I see Ms. Thomas reminding us, the UK High Commissioner, waded into that issue of the voters list, the tainted, dirty, nasty voters list. That's been part of a discussion as well. And it Cummins, we see you too. And, we had a Guyanese who went off to the UK over the weekend. Well, Lizzie was trying to go off to the UK. And Lizzie could say he saw Heathrow Airport. Lizzie could say he saw Heathrow Airport. They didn't stop in the air. Got a chance to land. We can talk about that. Is this thing real? Or is it being applied, cautiously? Lots to talk about, folks. Lots on the morning papers. Lots brewing, folks. Lots of things brewing internationally, regionally, and locally. And we got lots of things as well, folks, to talk about. But the biggest issue this morning, the guys are going to allow us to have Judy to come. Hopefully, I think the mic is already hot. The reach is never cold. Always hot, folks. Always hot. Let's go, folks. Always hot. I'm gonna fade into the back a little bit, sip a cup of coffee, and then I'll be back with you. Time in the pot. Well, time in the pot.
Partner with us.
Yeah.
Cheryl is slacking up on this party with us this morning.
Yeah, you do your thing. Do your thing. You run it. You run it.
We have to be
because unfortunately we don't run on water. Unfortunately.
Fortunately or unfortunately.
Yeah.
Requires a little bit more a little bit more for us. I see Facebook user, please and thank you. Good morning, Wilton Blue, and all of you wonderful folks joining us this morning. How are you guys doing? I hope all is well at your end. I hope you're having a fantastic morning, guys. Let me know how your weekend has been. Cher said I came in here. He just knew immediately how my weekend was. He just see that sigh and then like, oh yeah. So some weekends are better than some. Like I was hoping for a better weekend, to be honest. I was hoping for a better weekend. But it is what it is. You got to deal with stuff as it comes along. So let me know how your weekend has been. Like I'm asking very nicely there. Let me know how your weekend has been. I hope that you all had some time to go out and have. My weekend wasn't all that bad. It wasn't tremendously horrible, but it did have a rough edges, particularly at the very ending of the weekend. But I have to say, like Saturday was a good day for me. I hope that Saturday was a good time for you guys also. I hope so. Saturday was great for me. Don't let me lie. Let me not say good. Saturday was great for me. I was out and about. I actually had probably did 10,000 steps Saturday alone because I was out and about making sure that I got stuff done on Saturday. So let me know how it's been for you. I actually went there at the beach. Behind the Marriott there. A lot of work needs to be done there, if I dare say so myself. But good to see a lot of work being done, and it's good to see a lot of persons out and about there. Good morning, everyone. And Sherda already said, welcome me to FYI this wonderful, wonderful Monday morning, guys. We already at the 14th of November, if I dare say so. It's almost Christmas. Since you reach this timing, it's like almost Christmas, believe it or not. So I hope everyone is getting prepped for Christmas. However, this is going to be a very cost efficient Christmas for a lot of us, the majority of us, but we're going to have the spirit. Hopefully we'll just be able to gather the spirit of Christmas and the togetherness and warmth and love and all of those things that is required for Christmas. Okay, so what's going on at your end? I see Rihanna Mingo is on this morning. Says a very good morning to you, Jaretta. Courtney October. Good morning, Courtney. How are you? Hope all is well at your end. I hope you're having a great, great morning. Sheila's boy child is on with us this morning. Good morning to you. Says good morning, MP Lady J and Master Duncan. You say it so lovely. I just love it. Gladstone Matthews. Hey, Gladstone. How are you doing? I hope all is well at your end. And Lyndon Jones. Guys, share. I know Sharon would have told you already, but I'm asking again that you share the live. Make sure that everyone gets the benefit from the information and from the conversation. I see Yolanda Thomas says, oh wow, you look beautiful. I love the new look. I tied my hair up. Like, I don't know what's going on, but my hair is like, I'm like shedding. I feel like I'm shedding hair all the time. It's just crazy. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying all sorts of things to have that stop, but it's not stopping. I see Robin is there online. I think it's old age, Let me know in the comment section. I see some gray hair and so popping out too. Not too proud of those things at all. How are you doing, Robin? I hope all is well at your end. I hope you're having a fantastic, fantastic morning. And I hope that we'll be able to have a great conversation. Like Sharon was just telling you, we have a lot to discuss in the morning papers, a whole lot, and I wanted to jump straight into it. If you don't mind, I'll be back and forth. I'm not gonna miss you, Fitzherbert Jarek. I hope all is well at your end. Says good morning, Jaretta. Looking cool as usual. Love the conservative hairstyle. Yeah, so, like this is my schoolgirl hairstyle. When I was in high school, I used to just pull my hair back in a ponytail, put on a black ribbon, and I'm out the door 5 years straight, right? So 5 years straight, I do not think I ever once changed my hair. It was like this every single day for 5 years. I wasn't the type to do changes in hairstyle and those things. Nope, not me. So this was it. 5 years, persons had to see me like this every single day. I see Don Sullivan on with us this morning. Good morning to you, Don. I hope all is well at your end. Facebook user, I don't know which one of the Facebook. We have several Facebook users on right now. So guys, drop something else other than the Facebook user so we can get a name attached. And it's for me to be able to differentiate between the comments as it's come forward. I see you, Joy. Pamela says you are looking porky. I don't know. Probably I am. What if you say it? I believe you. If you say it, I believe it's 40 degrees in Queens, says Yolanda Thomas. Guys, I know what's going on over there. Everyone is talking about the chilliness, the cold. I think it was snowing a bit in Toronto over the weekend also. So I know the place is really cold. Guys, I hope that you're all keeping just warm, healthy, safe. Be extremely careful, whatever it is that you are doing. And share, share, share. Let's jump right in the conversation. Let's jump right into the morning papers. We have a lot to discuss, and I don't want us to be missing out on any bits and pieces. The first thing I'm going to say before we even get to that is today is Monday. So I'm off to the Public Accounts Committee meeting, and hopefully we're going to actually have a meeting this morning because, as you know, it requires the attendance of the People's Progressive Party. Two persons must be there from their lot in order for us to have a meeting. So I'm hoping that two persons at the very least show up to their meeting today so that we can proceed because, as you know, we were in recess from the 10th of August to the 10th of October. And then after the 10th of October, we haven't met as yet. This is our first meeting in November. This is like the 14th of November. So we've lost a month of actually meeting at the level of the PAC. So that's not good at all because we have a lot to discuss, guys, a lot coming out of the Auditor General's report. And you know, we are examining the 2021 reports. I see a lot of media houses reporting on a lot of things. So we're going to continue to break those things down, but definitely I'll encourage persons to check in because it's a live stream. So check in with us during the course of the day and see what's going on at the level of the PAC, listen to the information that is coming out and so forth. We're all about the transparency. That's what it entails when it comes to good governance. We're going to make sure, regardless of what year we're examining, if it's the year of the AP and UAFC administration, that I am just as I believe the transparency should be there regardless of who was in office then and the years that we were examining and the information that's coming up. Because guess what? The more information we have as to the loopholes that exist, the more we're able to fix it, or the more we should be able to fix it. So that's the whole aim. The aim is not to beating down on this side, beating down on the other side. The aim is to actually identify failures, errors, negligence, willful acts, and to just remedy those situations so that we don't have a repeat of it as we're seeing. Because I did note that there are a lot of things in the 2021 report that was repeated prior and so forth, and we have to move forward from that point so that we're not just come in and just saying these are the failures, but we're not at a position to actually fix those things so we can move forward in a positive direction. That should be all of our aim. And I say all of us, I mean government and opposition, regardless of who's in government and who's in opposition, because this is about protecting the public purse, taxpayers' dollars, so that your money will be spent efficiently and that you'll be able to see value for money at the end of the day. So I just wanted to premise my discussion on that this morning because I definitely know that it's going to be an interesting day at the level of the PSC there at Parliament building, the public building out there. All right. So the first thing we want to discuss this morning from the morning papers is the FOBS report. And believe it or not, you know, FOBS report was released, I think, last Friday. And the report gave a lot of information that we already knew, things that we were already suspicious of, and conversations that was already out there. But one of the things that I can tell you is that there's a specific number given there in the Forbes report when it comes to the amount of Guyanese that actually live abroad, our diaspora, and the amount of person that does not live in Guyana. The report is saying that over 36% rather of Guyanese are living overseas. And this is very very much accurate, and I dare say that I believe that is over 40%, because we have our diaspora. It's crazy large because a lot of persons was running from the country because of bad management and all of that during 2015 to 2020, particularly thereafter 2016 and so forth. A lot of persons did try to come back home and start coming back home and so forth. That's why there was a whole initiative and so forth when it comes to having remigrant policies, remigrant access to lands and all of those things, because persons were showing interest in coming back home because everybody that ran from the country before that, prior to 2015, suddenly wanted to get back here. So I do note that this report is saying over 36%, and I believe that it's actually a little bit higher. But we're going to be dissecting the report a whole lot, and I know that you guys in the comment section see Dexter Hopkinson is on here with us this morning. So good morning to you, Dexter. I hope all is well well at your end. I see Roll. Andre Hamilton is on with us, says, good morning, direct and fellow listeners watching from New York. So all of you folks that are actually looking at us from the diaspora right now, you're being covered and catered for in that over 36% that has been reported there by Forbes. How do you feel about this? How much do you think it actually is? What percentage of Guyanese you actually believe is living overseas? And I do want to note that this particular report right here that we're talking about, the data that they are actually reporting on, although the report was only released last week, the actual data that they're reporting on is back from 2020. That is the data that they're reporting on. So the situation might have changed. Well, the situation is always changing. So as what it is right now, maybe a different situation, maybe different altogether. And what I can say is that a lot of persons that are coming to Guyana right now, when it comes to the shift in the number and our population, and I want to say that a lot of those persons are not persons coming back from the diaspora. It's not Guyanese that is coming back that resided overseas for several years. A lot of those persons are persons that's flowing in from our neighboring countries, and those persons, some of them, a lot of them, majority of them are not Guyanese at all, but they're just here chasing resources. So we still have that large number of Guyanese residing in the diaspora. That's the numbers that we have to be tracking very carefully, as against the persons that are coming into our country that are not actually Guyanese, and eventually they will be naturalized and become Guyanese. So guys, we are consistently continuing to look at this situation, because it's not something that we want to get out of control. You know, persons talk about a creeping invasion and all of those things. We have to be very, very careful with all of these things. Respect and manners. I'm seeing Facebook users coming through. Yolanda Thomas has said, in the USA, we have at least 1.2 million people from Guyana. You know, USA have 1.2 million people. Guyana's last census back 10 years ago, I mean, this number would have changed, and we're going to get a new number in a matter of months, hopefully. That last number just had us about 750,000 persons. So, you know, we have our own bit of dispute when it comes to the validity of that bit of data, and whether or not it is factual and all of that. But definitely we need to be tracking the numbers that is there. And we have had several bits and pieces of reports coming up prior to Forbes report that says over 36%. So let us just look at the real numbers. And I know that it's definitely over 36%, but I think it's way more up than Forbes is actually reporting there. So let us look, let us monitor. And I just remember that bit of data is coming from a 2020 survey that was done. All right, Remembrance Day 2022. Yesterday we observed Remembrance Day 2022, and I see here Irfan Ali actually honored World War's veterans for their supreme sacrifice, and I think a donation of $1 million was made towards the organization there. Just let me pull up my notes really quickly. I don't want to make any mistakes. All right, so it said donates 1 million to the Veterans Legion. So yeah, definitely, a lot needs to go into this. They also said it's only 6 surviving World War vets in Guyana at the moment, and I think this is very accurate, because I know that my great uncle was one of those persons. He died a few years ago, Mr. Metahalza, and he was one of those persons that survived the World War. You know, was out there, out and about. You know, I think that his plane got shot down somewhere. I can't remember the details, but you know, I was just a little girl listening to all of the stories that he would tell, and that my grandmother would tell about all of the things that happened and there. So, you know, it's good for us to remember what we came through, so that we don't repeat the mistakes moving forward. And this is not for us as Guyanese, but particularly for the world at large. We cannot be going back into a situation where persons had to live with trauma for so many years thereafter for what they witnessed during war. It was absolutely crazy. And even as that was remembered yesterday, even as that was happening, we still have a war currently that is going on between Russia and the Ukraine, something that's completely unacceptable, levels of terror that the world said we would never experience again. And there we have it. As we're speaking right now, we have children and families are being displaced. A lot of persons losing their lives as a war continues as of today between Russia and the Ukraine. So we're way, way far away off from where we want to be as a world. We have to be doing way more better than what we're doing right now. I think a lot more needs to be done at the level of the more developed nations that pulls the strings, if I can put it over like that. A lot more needs to be done, and so that we as nations that, like for example Guyana, that we just have a defense force. We don't even have the capacity to have an army, that we're not left to the mercies of those larger nations a whole lot. I see Annette comments is there, Anna, since nobody runs some good. Well, you could not have said it better. And I know Anna is referring to the headline that we just went through, and that report coming out from the Forbes report. That basically speaks to the fact that we have so many persons, so many Guyanese that choose to live overseas. And you know what? The funny part is, if I can just step back into that a little bit more, even the persons that come home, even to those persons, they're only coming home to do business. None of them are actually packing up their things and bringing their families back. They're just coming home to do business, to see how much money they can actually gain, and their families, like their children, is just overseas because they believe that the system here is not even close to where it needs to be in order to give their children that opportunity to do better. And I agree fully, and I understand those decisions. So we have to get better to the point that Guyanese are going to be flooding in, not just coming here to set up business and to take money back to their families abroad, but particularly come home with their entire family, saying that this is a better spot, this is a safer environment for us to be here. We feel at home when we're actually at home, and that's not the situation. So we are far, far, far from where we need to be as a country. And I have to say, I don't see us moving in any swift method towards getting to where we need it to be. So you're absolutely correct. All right, Pamela Dover says, like Venezuela. I'm not sure my comments are coming a little bit slow, but guys, I do understand. Like Venezuela, a lot of Venezuelans are here in Guyana. We have to be monitoring that situation very, very carefully. All right, so it says AFC pulls out of the local government elections. That's one of the headlines that we're following right now. I did tell you, and I keep giving you my personal opinion. And every time I spoke to you prior, I would say it's my personal view that nobody should be heading into any election with the list as is, because basically we'll be validating that list when we go and make that decision to contest with the list. The Alliance for Changes has now put out its official position after a meeting of the National Executive Committee there over the weekend. A very, very in-depth discussions, and this had been an ongoing conversation. So the Alliance for Change met as the NEC, the National Executive Committee, and that decision was now put forward. So the public is now notified officially of the Alliance for Change position, which is not to contest these elections with the list as is. The Alliance for Change believe that we have to move forward very aggressively to get those issues fixed before we even think about going into an election. And I share those sentiments very, very strongly. I have said this before, and I hope that we can move forward as a nation with true democracy to actually have those issues remedied so that we're not in a position that we're in right now. Okay, I see Anna say lots of overseas people are coming for citizenship in Guyana, not even born here. Yeah, a lot of persons are doing that. A lot of persons. And I'm glad that you guys are keeping on top of your game. I'm glad that you guys are really, really, really passionate about all that is going on right here. I see Beatrice. Did I miss you earlier? So sorry, Beatrice. Good morning to you. I hope that all is well at your end. I hope that you're having a fantastic, fantastic morning. It is so good to have you with us as always. And I see Pamela Dover also. Pamela, good morning to you, Pamela. Don't come in rowing. Pamela coming rowing looking for shirt early this morning. So, he is going to be with you in a jiffy in a little bit. So don't worry, be rowing here right about now. I see Facebook users saying no party should go into the election, and I'm glad that I'm having these comments coming from you guys. We appreciate it because you know that this has been my position. I believe that any bit of us being within those folds and contesting would actually be given a legitimacy to the system that is, and we don't want to be there because we know the flaws. We cannot pretend that the recount did not happen. It happened. The recount happened, and as a consequence of that, everyone's eyes are wide open to the tremendous avenues for fraud and corruption and all of those things that is within the system. Everyone is very aware of the loopholes that exist, and we have to be crazy to actually believe that we can go into other elections with that list as is, because the election becomes a sham when you contest it like that, and we have real issues when it comes to that. So we are encouraging persons, we have to get the support. And I did note some comments coming out of the international community, if I can put it over like that, particularly the UK High Commissioner, and I'm going to be diving into that a whole lot more. But I think our system as is, we need to understand as Guyanese that our priority must be to have a democracy that is so sealed tight that absolutely no one will be able to penetrate that system and do any bit of skullduggery. That's what we should be aiming for. We should not aim for anything less than that. And regardless of who the party is that is in power, we need to know that they got there by honest, decent means. That's what we want to get to. Until we get to that position, we are not doing ourselves justice as a country and as a people. We need to do better. We need to be more responsible as Guyanese, and we need to make sure that when you actually go out there and vote, that your vote is counted in the correct manner. We do not want to have a system in which counting can be done and the election could be decided even before the first vote is cast. We don't want to have any avenue for such nonsense to be done within our country. So I fully endorse and support the position of the Alliance for Change. I am super proud of that position. Like you do know, like I've been saying, I have been saying so myself for a very, very long time. We should not go to the election with the list as is. Stanborn, hey, good morning to you. I hope all is well at your end. I hope that you're having a fantastic morning. See Lyndon Jonas saying, I'm in support of not contesting election. Thank you so much for that. Guys, I'm very, very appreciative of the feedback of persons that believe we should not contest the election and no party should contest the election. I see Anna Phillips is saying no election without a clean voters list. We don't want fraudulent winners, and that's a position we have to take. It's a very difficult position to take, particularly when you have political persons of political willpower that wants to go out there and they want to fight these people at every nook and corner, every opportunity they get. They want to fight and represent the people that they live amongst. Grassroots leadership, which local government elections should be strongly enforcing. But we don't want a system in which that system is basically rigged against you before you even go to the polls. So we have to stand firm on this. I see Nicola Daniels is on this morning, and Roxanne Garway. Good morning to you, Roxanne, joining us from Bartica this morning. I hope all is well at your end. Guys, I hope everyone is having a good morning. All right. So the last bit that I want to touch on before we get into the morning brew, the last headlines that I'm going to touch on is jilted husband stabs man to death and injures wife. Guys, we've been talking about these pandemics that we've been dealing with, particularly when it comes to the pandemic of our road fatalities, and then the other pandemic, another one that we talk about is the pandemic when it comes to violence, domestic violence, and all of these things. And it seems like we don't go a week without actually having to report on one of these matters this morning, not being any different. It's a jilted husband stabs man to death and injures wife. And since police in Kakwani, region number 10, are on the hunt for a truck driver who stabbed his wife and fatally stabbed another man in the wee hours of a Sunday morning. And they said dead is 30-year-old Joshua Denid. And I want to say that 30 years old is absolutely young. Like, my goodness, like 30 years old, you're now there, you're now deciding to start a life. He was a truck driver of Kokwani, also Upper Burbis River. And injured there, we have Kavita Williams. Kavita Williams, a 36-year-old laborer of Kokwani airstrip, and she was injured during the ordeal. And she is said to be in a stable condition there at the Kokwani hospital. Crazy situation. I have to say these are things that we do not like to be reporting on. I always say that we need to train young men that it's good to let go. We need to support families and institution of families and all of those things by providing the necessary guidance and support even before persons get into those situations. And if you hear any noise in the background, it's Sherry Duncan. Let me just not pretend that you didn't hear that, knocking over stuff in the back there. But as I said, reports are that the incident occurred about 2:10 in the morning there, at Double Deuce Creek. At that site there is a bush pond, Kokwani, there at Starfield. Person that don't know Kokwani is absolutely beautiful. I've been there a couple of times, and every time I go, I just love the area and the serenity of the area and all of that. So a very small, closely knitted community. So I can just imagine how much this incident would have shook up the place. Nobody believes that. Nobody wants to hear that, particularly in communities as small and closely knitted as Kokwani. So my sincere condolences to the family members of that young man there that had lost his life, Joshua. I have to say that, and I am hoping and praying that we have Miss Williams there, Kavita Williams, that she makes a speedy recovery. I'm hoping that she's going to be well. And for the young man, another young man, 36-year-old. Well, that wasn't said there. Let me mix up my notes there. But for the other young man that is on the run for committing these dreadful acts, I have to say that I hope that the justice system just pans out the way in which it should, and that he gets help. You have to say that such persons need help. They definitely need a lot of help. A normal thinking person don't go out and do something like that. That is something that builds up over time, and then they go out and they commit such dastardly acts. So very, very, very sad situation there. I'm getting tea. Just let me tell you, I'm getting tea at the back end. I have my co-host is being very, very helpful this morning. He probably thinks that I need tea, and I do need tea this morning. So guys, before we go into it, Pamela Dover saying Sherrod is acting up. Sherrod is very much so acting up this morning. I don't know what he's knocking over and why, but I think he probably Pamela Sherrod says, do not come for him this morning. Out front parts, I see you there. Voting is a very important part of any democracy. By voting, citizens are participating in the democratic process. Citizens vote for leaders to represent them, and their idea is absolutely correct. That is that is what we have to think about. He says proportional representation is a principle that that the legislators should reflect all the votes who elect them, and that is absolutely correct. You could not have said it better. So guys, as we just switch up on you this morning, as we allow the set to be switched up, you know what I'm doing. I'm always out and about. Rock and Common, Sherrod says, Yvette Wolford. Good morning to you, Yvette. Yvette is laughing when I'm saying that Sherrod is just knocking things over this morning. It's not your friend, Sherrod. It's not your friends. Yvette laughing you this morning. Let me just tell you before you come on. Yvette is not having it. She's not even pretending. Pamela said like he's cooking. Joy rather. Joy Pamela is saying that you're probably cooking at the back end. Or Sherrod coming through with a set of newspapers. I don't know where you send for these things, Sherrod.
Yeah. Our viewers, our family, ensure that we always have papers when they're coming home.
Yes.
And I'm so thankful for that.
You didn't thank me for papers when I brought it for you. I have issues now.
Yes,
I have some issues going on right now.
Have a term they say out of timing,
Oh, you know,
Out
you
of
don't do
timing,
this thing.
yeah.
Sure.
Make sure
You
we're
know,
looking good, guys. Make sure we're looking good.
as crazy as this when I was as crazy as this when I was
That's crazy as this.
when I was in Canada, I was looking around like for some stuff and so and then I spot the papers. I'm like, drop everything else. Let me just go get Sherrod's papers before I even leave this
right.
airport.
Don't
Or don't come.
Come back.
Basically, don't come. He's
Go to
not
the
even
UK.
joking.
Go to the UK.
I see Morning Stoby's on this morning.
Don't
Special shout out to Morning Stoby that's joining us all the way from Port Kaituma Region 1. Good morning to all of you wonderful, wonderful folks. I hope all is well at your end. I hope you're having a fantastic
we do
morning there. Kokwani, we're going on with the power in Kokwani. Y'all getting electricity lately?
Yeah.
And what's going on with the power in Region 1 also? Y'all getting any electricity there? I know Region 1 in particular, I just saw Morning Stoby on. I remember that person were complaining about the blackouts there.
Yeah, I forgot to turn my mic on, so there you go.
Oh, Sheridan had his mic on.
There you go. Morning again, guys. Good morning, good morning. Share the live. Smash that emoji button for us. What are you guys up to this morning? Something is happening out there. What are you folks up to? We're bringing you a live shot there of the entrance to the Demara Harbor Bridge. Thanks to Pixel Guyana Inc. For those live shots. And we trust that you guys are well, that your day's off to a fantastic start.
Yep.
We black t-shirt loud and proud this morning. I hope you oversoaking. Learn on this program, you can oversoak.
Yeah, I didn't know. I still don't know.
Dash the back and what happened, Oversoak. But guys, we trust you guys have had a fantastic weekend. We know Judy was
Am
out
I
and
looking
about.
at the right camera?
You're supposed to be looking at this one here. Straight ahead. Straight to different, Guys, how are you folks doing? So we had one of our ardent viewers, consistent viewers, bring us some papers over the weekend. They brought us the Daily News out of New York. That's this one here. And this has a really good breakdown of the 2022 midterm elections. Some good analysis in the Daily News. And they also brought us, believe it or not, this is the Financial Times.
Oh, wow.
Lovely. The Financial Times.
I read it online.
Yeah, a fantastic newspapers in and of itself.
Yeah.
Yep.
You see the print things differently there.
Correct. That's
a likes the feel of this, what it's like.
We ain't going to work. Yeah, I don't know why, but I love reading the news online.
Is it showing?
I love it on my tablet, but I'll give my bring it a little closer. But we also like the is the lighting. Sorry.
Okay.
We also have and it's the quality of the paper too. We also have also love the feel of the newspaper in my hand.
That's a crazy image of the front there.
Your boy Trump, the Daily News. So guys, if you're coming this way, help us to keep in the know with what's happening, and bring us a copy of the newspaper. We got a copy of the what is it? It's the Connecticut Current. What is the papers in Connecticut there, and some other papers recently too, the New York Times and so forth. We like to stay in the know.
You're not going to mention the Toronto paper.
The Toronto, I think it was the Toronto Current. What's the name of the papers there in Connecticut?
I'm fighting for my
accolades. You see what I say? Fighting for it. So, folks, we got a lot of things we want to share to you this morning. A lot of things happening internationally. We think you all know about. And then we're coming home, good folks. We are going to be coming home. Quite a few things happening internationally, and we're going to bring one to you. We're going to bring one to your attention. And folks in Mexico, they're different.
They're not having it.
Electoral reform plan. No. Some folks like the content of that. In the throes of this too, electoral reform. And those guys are doing everything, folks. In addition to not allowing for locally, that is, the cleaning up of this list, they're doing everything in their power to rig this election. And we can talk about that a little later on. But in Mexico, it's boots on the ground. Of course, Mexico got plenty more people by far. Mexico City alone got about 25 million people. Yeah. Mexico City alone. So tens of thousands marched over the weekend and will continue to march over the president's electoral reform plan in Mexico City. And, on all sides, what we like is that there's a robust democracy in place. I hear people get tear gas, shot with pellets, they call holy guns and tongues and all those things. It is part of the robust democracy in Mexico that people can have their voices heard. And that's important.
Over 22 million people in Mexico City alone.
Yeah.
Over 130 million persons in Mexico.
Yeah, we got under a million, and struggling as a country. And Mexico City, believe it or not, got a municipality.
But it's
That
important
is
to look
managed
at it's important to look at the actual
Sector.
percentage of the persons that are actually out there doing it, and then compare it to if you are looking at the Guyana situation with the percentage,
Drink is glowing,
how much
isn't it?
person should be on. I don't know. You know, that had to be a lot of effort because I
Glowing.
woke up with that, like I woke up
Glowing,
feeling
glowing.
down and out. So I'm like, ah.
Eat.
But then I remember that you don't get an opportunity to
Yeah.
be down and out on a Monday, so you
Yeah.
have to, no matter
Push.
if you know. There's this interview with Rihanna, and said, "What are you doing when you're not feeling it?" You know, and says, "I fake it," you know.
Yeah. Fake it.
So you
Fake it
get
till you
out
feel it.
and you just fake it because you have to keep pushing.
Fake it till you feel it.
Yes.
So Mexico, folks, they're different. They're different in Mexico. And may we all be imbued with that energy. You know, it's either you're a Mexican or you're Mexican. Which are you? I think I can be a Mexican.
Did you just say that?
That's
Where
what
did
they
you get that from?
Yeah, that's the saying. You are either Mexican or you're a Mexican. I think I'm going to be a Mexican.
Your girl just reached
Yeah.
Candy Nalini Energy.
Yeah.
Just
The students are always coming in late. Always coming in late. Folks, got some stuff to happening recently.
Yo, what's going on? Person need to share this
Yeah,
morning. I'm not
yeah.
seeing the shares coming up.
Yeah,
Come on,
something
guys.
about the shares and the emojis. Like yours Mexicans this morning. Come on. We don't want no Mexicans here. Mexicans, folks. We can. Yeah.
Something
Silla
different
Hector.
happening.
Good to see you. Altin Benjamin. Yeah. Them boys try to stifle the thing, you know. Them boys. Guys, some stuff happening regionally too. I want to bring to your attention. Dominica. You know, we spoke about that election that's impending on December 6th, and the fact that the Dominican opposition, just like us here, and this is just like the AFC, pulled out of those polls because they say the list padded. You see? The list is padded, folks. And the opposition in Dominica say, we want a part of this. Well, folks, in addition to that,
You have to stand for
right,
it, Sharon. You have
they
to stand.
are calling for a boycott of those elections now.
Yes.
They're calling for a boycott of those elections in, I always said Mexico, in Dominica. They're calling for a boycott. And again, I love the fact that you can get views on both sides. That is part of a democratic process.
Correct.
You know, you're going to have strong views for, and you're going to have strong views against. But it's part of the democratic process.
Yep.
And it can only bode well as that democracy there in Dominica develops. Yeah.
Yep. That's what it is. We have to be very careful of what we're doing. We cannot allow our system to disintegrate further.
Yeah.
And we cannot pretend we didn't uncover what we did there at the election, at the recount there in 2020. That is something we can't undo. You can't unsee it. You can't unhear the things, you know. It happened and the information is there. So we definitely need to continue to bring it all together.
It is what it is. It is what it is. And we're so happy that those guys are standing strong and they are doing what they gotta do. We're so glad about that. So glad about that.
Pamela says stand for something or settle for nothing.
Yeah, that's true. It's very important, folks. When the 592 and the maternal deaths, you know, we spoke about this quite recently. I even did an interview with Dr. Karen Cummins about maternal deaths. She offered some advice on how they should be thinking, how they should be moving. Well, those maternal deaths continued over the weekend. You had a mother.
2 weeks. This is three mothers in 2 weeks, I believe.
Yeah. You had a young mother, with twins. All three persons lost their lives over the weekend. And then you had a 40-year-old pregnant woman too. I don't know why the age mattered there, but a 40-year-old pregnant woman who lost her life at a COVID center. A pregnant mother lost her life at a COVID center. And again, these maternal deaths, frightening. Such a small population. We ain't got 22 million like Mexico City. There's a couple hundred over here. These deaths keep racking up. And, you know, Frank Anthony, the Minister of Health, who we tabled a no confidence motion against the National Assembly months ago, hasn't seen the other paper. He said he's going to launch an investigation. The usual. They don't hear back anything.
Yeah.
Left on the dust. The report is left on the shelf to gain dust. So that's what's happening, folks, on that front.
You know, a lot of times, if I can say it, a lot of times we have, like you just asked, like you don't know why the age, like 40, it is even mentioned. But it's like for women, once they get over 35 years old, you're considered high risk once you're pregnant over the age of 35 years old, you're considered to be in a high risk category because a lot more care and attention needs to be given to you. So, just to hear that a pregnant woman, 40 years old, was even at that particular hospital, you wonder as to whether or not she was getting that high risk kind of treatment when it comes to the fact that she was pregnant.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
lots of things happening on that front. And folks, this was one that really gripped us over the weekend. This issue of Tion Rose, I think it is, who would have tried to gain access to the UK, United Kingdom, over the weekend via this visa-free travel. And he had the time of his life. What started out really and truly as a dream come true for him and his family, haven't seen them in a long time, turned out to be a very, very traumatic experience, a nightmare altogether, to use Treaty's phrase, turned out to be a nightmare. And this is quite a story. Left to visit with his family, £400 in pocket, visa-free travel. And then when he got there, he was detained. They said he has insufficient funds, and to come back, he was deported. Said he would need to get a visa to come back. So it's either, we don't know what's happening here. We don't know, and this is something that we think that the British High Commission could adjust her mind to. Of national importance.
But actually, before I came on this morning, I was actually running the page of the British High Commissioner, looking to see if any statement was made, particularly with regards to that incident, because obviously after all the announcements about visa-free travel, and then there was something as serious as that happening. The young man, according to the reports that was in the public domain, mainstream media, and all of that. They said the young man was not only sent back, they said his sister was there to receive him at the airport. She was there left in the cold for hours with her kids because it's super cold there right now. And trying to get him, she's not getting him. When I think an immigration officer contacted her, spoke with her and so forth. And when they were asking her if she was expecting this person, and she said yes. And she said they were supposed to call her back with more information. She didn't. When she's pressing for information, then they were telling her that he's going to be sent back, and he's going to be sent back. I think it was to Barbados, and then he has to make his way on his own to Guyana. I think somewhere along the line, I think that I'm hearing some avenue that should be utilized for him to sue them. I don't get it, and that's why I'm waiting for clarity to be given from the level of the UK's High Commissioner here in Guyana, because everything that I'm hearing is most ridiculous. And I did see a comment online that I'm going to refer to right now to say, like, the UK borrowed Barbados bench. And for those of you who don't understand that, well, all of you should understand that. But if there's anyone here that doesn't, it's basically saying that treatment that was meted out to Guyanese prior in Barbados and Trinidad also, that treatment is not treatment that we expect to be meted out to Guyanese there in the UK. So that situation, it was nasty, and it insulted the young man, his family, and all of those things. It's absolutely crazy, and I think he should sue. Whatever method is used, you can't do that. But what I do believe also is that immediately like that, everyone that was thinking it start rethinking their plans. Like, hey, wait, I'm not gonna go down that road that I'm gonna say. Well, and then the crazy thing is that they're telling him that he needs to apply for a visitor's visa. That's what they told him, that he needs to apply for a visitor's visa. I think he should sue them. You cannot put that level of embarrassment to a person. Think you can just tap them on their shoulder and apologize or something. No.
Yeah, make a fuss about it. Yep. In addition to that, folks, we're tracking the cost of living. The cost of living locally. And every week, Cyber News does this feature on the man in the street views of cost of living. We've been bringing you some of those comments, and here is one fella, Michael Johnson, who has been talking about the cost of living, and I'm happy to have his views. What he said about the cost of living, everything nice, everything dandy, how things looking, because the boys have been at pains. As a matter of fact, I saw in Chronicle just this morning them trying to persuade folks that the vegetable price stable. I mean, like, what is stable? Right? It's stable at the high price that it met. It's stably holding there, or is it returned to? Because usually here,
I think he says, I think they're trying to say stable at high price. There has not been any price that has been falling. Let's just start in that position.
Usually here, you got greens is giving away. in the market, usually here, right? So we're watching that, and some of the views are Michael.
Lyndon Jones said the UK is the mother of all slavery, so why the surprise?
Yeah.
I felt that.
Yeah.
I felt that there, Lyndon.
All right. So Michael had some thoughts, Rika. Could you share that with us about the cost of living?
I'm sorry, but I think Vesta also said visa free is only for the one Guyana.
Yeah.
So you understand what that means also.
Yeah. I saw Bordes is in London, and as you
Visa
said,
free.
it's very cold there at this time. But Bordes was sweating. You know, somebody messaged me. She said, "This is one of the signs of people who sugar down." Yeah, you know, the cold will be sweating. It's the animal. Bordes, folks, different. All that cold, sweating, folks. This is sugar down symptoms here. Symptom. Yeah. So again, Judah, please share with us what this Michael is saying about cost of living. I mean, if you put the screen close to me, I can read it. I don't know.
Michael Johnson is there, 74 years old. Cost of living affected me because things raised and I ain't getting no additional income. Like, this is what everybody has been saying, Is the one income I did get in last year, I get in this year, and the prices and everything triple. Like, this is what we've been saying all the time. Yeah. So we've been saying, like, your spending power, your purchasing power, like, it has been completely depreciated. It's crazy, because what you could have bought with your $100 today, you have to get $300 for it. What you could have bought with your $100, 2 years ago, you have to get $300 to buy that. Today, the problem is that you're still left with the same ridiculous salary. Yeah. Right? But it's just you as a public servant, a person that's earning minimum wage and all of that. And I did see someone, whilst they drive their luxurious vehicle and all of that, trying to defend the $60,000 when it comes to the private sector minimum wage. And sometimes I really wonder, it's like, how do you have the face to even go out there to try to defend things that cannot be defended? What are you doing $60,000 a month?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. So we're following that, folks. We're following the high cost of living and what it's doing, and them trying to tell us about stable prices and so on. Isn't going to happen. Just last week, for instance, we spoke with folks in border market about meat prices, because we saw them trying to say the same thing. Meat prices are stable and so on. And all of the guys have that for us. Our thoughts of and we said this is part of what we're going to be doing moving forward, talking to folks about how cost of living are affecting them. It's easy to just put a text in the newspapers and say everything nice. But when you go to the people on the street and you get their views, what do you think? And you bring that unfiltered. I don't want people to say cost of living is high. I want people to say what they're experiencing in the marketplace. If they say things nice. They say things tough.
But I want to read, like, just one more thing that was said by Michael Johnson.
Go ahead.
He said, for example, 5 mangoes right now is for $1,000, basically $200 per mango. He said them ain't got to water the mango tree, them ain't got to give it more fertilizer or nothing. Let them justify why the mango price gone up. Let them justify that. Basically.
So I guess the next thing Chronicle is going to have to say, fruit price is stable. It's at the high price. And here's that take of the meat vendor telling us about what's happening in that area of the economy. Prices, any increases, decreases, and generally how Christmas prep comes.
The price right now is not really down so much. You got in the sale, but you ain't coming to everywhere. You can pick up here. Because people are asking the price for the I ain't telling the price sometimes. But we got a nice price here right now. Price we get this. The whole market selling for. Not everyone sells a different price. We get the best price.
What is that best price? Maybe walk us through.
You have the best quality, at least 6 packets. You have to do it people want to.
And what about chicken? What about your mince meat?
Chicken is $4.40. Get it mince $900. And chicken mince.
Awesome. And what is your expectation as we approach, get closer to Christmas? What are your expectations of the shoppers?
For Christmas, we don't really race. Don't feel like we cover you. Like you have to stay on the face. But people are now.
Thank you. So that was Robin's meat stall there in Border Market. And again, there's the gentleman telling you that, chicken at $4.60 is expensive. And the beef prices are up there, but they say they got a good price. They got a good price. Guess you might go and find out, and patronize. One of the things we learned being on the ground there, Twitter, you might find this quite interesting. Believe it or not, those folks in Border Market, folks, listen to this now, told us that it is the Cuban community that's keeping them afloat. He said because the Cuban community and the others, like the Venezuelans who are coming and opening up businesses, are using a variety of meats, especially beef.
Correct.
And that is part of what is, because it's in the local, because of the cost in buying. Right? And believe it or not, again, they're also very timid to come on camera because can you imagine that? The fear of victimization, to state that. But we went stall after stall and asking, and folks confirmed, right? That they use the Cuban community. That's what they said. No. Because they're opening up more eateries here and introducing us to more of their cuisine, which I find is fantastic. As long as we keep crime down and Guyanese get a fair share of what is for us, I'm all for that melting pot that we could be and what we could become in the region. And they're keeping the vendors afloat. Well, we knew they were having an effect on Regent Street, but now even the vendors sing because they're not only buying to take back now, they're settling here, opening up their eateries and so on. And they said, we are heavily supported, and that is what is keeping us afloat. Vendor after vendor in the market told us that.
But I'm not surprised, let me just say, because when I go out into the market myself, as when I go into, particularly there at Border where I get meat usually, when I go in there, that's who I meet there, the Cubans. I'm not even just saying this because of what you just said. Like, that's who I meet. When go in there, that's who's in there. When I'm leaving, more of those persons, Spanish people, to be very direct, those are the persons that's going in there.
Yeah.
That's the way it is as of right now. You can go right now. You'll be able to see that.
Believe it or not, folks. What else we're tracking, folks? The big issue this morning. Yep, the PPP and local content. The PPP and local content. Now, late last year when the Local Content Act was passed, the very date was passed, you had the National Resource Fund Act was passed. The very day the Local Content Act was passed, the Natural Resource Fund Act was also passed. And we told them in both instances, put them into a select committee, let us study it some more. Well, I remember the private sector writing, saying, good job, good job, PPP, good job. But they're singing a different show now. You see, the thing in theory and the thing in practice could have a difference. It's a good job, fantastic job, PPP. Because this is how they do it. It's a 1-2 punch. The PPP passed legislation, then the private sector knows, and they call and instructed what to do. Issue a press statement, lauding the accomplishment of the administration. And they did that on cue. But now when things bite in the economy, you're hearing a different tune. You got two instances. One, what the court said with the Ramps logistics case on Friday. And then you have what the private sector themselves are saying on this very issue. And we know, folks, we've lost some of our notation there. But we know that the private sector, we lost 2 of our pages, unfortunately. The private sector, through the chairman, said over the weekend that the hinterland businesses are not benefiting from local content. The hinterland, this is Paul Chow, their guy, right? The administration guy who heads the private sector, saying that the hinterland community not benefiting from local content. But we told you, let me study the thing.
Remember when I was talking about this, right? And I was talking to the lack of access to economic activities, and particularly for the hinterland communities. You remember we had a PPP troll in the comment section going on and on about
most people don't need money.
Basically, you know.
They're bound to live poor and they can that's
the mentality that they have.
Yeah.
That's the mentality that they have.
Yeah.
But I have to say again, the private sector had an opportunity to be at one when it comes to the policy framework.
Yeah.
The opposition wasn't being destructive in its comment. The opposition was putting forward very clear points as to what should and should not be done, particularly with regards to the local content legislation that was tabled, that they consider law today. I always say that they consider law because that's a contention as to whether or not those things were passed legally at the level of National Assembly. And they didn't do so. They embraced it.
Mhm.
They embraced it. So for me to see them coming out now, that when they like almost a year later, to actually critique and to say, oh, it needs tightening up here and there, that's very sad. And I think that the private sector needs to acknowledge their failure
Yeah.
in that regard,
Correct is
to
right.
not have actually sat down and gone through that bit of legislation with a fine-tooth comb,
Yeah.
when it was at the level of a
Yeah.
bill and in the National Assembly, and to actually give guidance and proper critique. You don't have to just bow your head and say yes every single thing the PPP does just because you don't want the repercussions. You have to get to the point that you understand that you have to represent, you're representing a key section of society. The private sector is a key section of the engine of growth and development, and you're not getting anywhere if you are just shaking your head blindly to things that does not even benefit the people that you represent. And that's the position that they're in right now, sadly.
Yep. And this is a conversation we're going to continue in our podcast. But Ramsey District's case, I think the Chief Justice, having now studied the legislation up close and personal, made a lot of pronouncements. And when she looked at it, I guess she figured this is the wild, wild west here. No regulations, no oversight. The minister taking a lot of liberties upon himself. This is Vikram Bharat, the installed Minister of Natural Resources, taking a lot of liberties upon himself with the local content legislation concerned, to grant or not to grant these local content certificates. And again, setting out a range of issues and a range of challenges that legislation has. The same legislation, APNU FC said to them, hold on, let's put it into a select committee. Let's look at it. Let's interrogate it thoroughly and then offer the best solution to the Guyanese people. They didn't want to hear now the very private sector that was very supportive of them in the past. Them boys crying out no. Them boys crying out. It's very, very sad to hear. And very, very sad to see as well what's going on here. But it is what it is. Yep. I think that's going to do it for us at this end. Rita has to trot off to the Public Accounts Committee where she is a member. Very important committee. And we're going to be picking up some of this discussion in our podcast, guys, at 12 today.
Well, I just wanted to say that even if you go back in January, because it's a serious matter, even if you go back January there, you see being accredited there in the Guyana Chronicle, their headline is like more jobs and contracts for Guyanese with local content legislation. And they featured chairman of the private sector commission there, Paul Chung, as being one of those persons endorsing these sentiments and pushing with that agenda and all of that. Particularly also they quoted from the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and all of those persons also basically at that point in time. And this was back in, actually this was dated December 12th, 2021, as they led up to that day in the National Assembly, because they wanted those endorsements for public buy-in to something that they knew that it was flawed. So we see all of the failures, we see all of the errors right now. I know I do want to mention at this point in time when it comes to RAMS logistics, and I see RAMS anticipating smooth handover of a local content certificate. I would say RAMS kind of ain't learned the lesson yet when it comes to these people, if they're anticipating any smooth handover of anything, because I'm surprised that I haven't learned about an appeal going forward already with regards to the decision on that, the ruling of that case, because that's how the administration operates. But I'm hoping that good sense prevails and that they actually have a smooth handover of that certificate. I believe a time was given, if I'm not mistaken. It was supposed to be 12 noon. Is it 12 noon today? I can't remember, but I have to check back that. RAMS, and we do understand that fight. And I did speak a lot about it, but I have to say that my comments on it was not just because you're seeing RAMS in this situation, but because RAMS was an example of what is to come for other businesses. And that's why I give all the comments that I gave concerning RAMS and all of that. We must not be in a position and a situation in which the administration believe that they can do what the hell they want, and just direct the resources to their people. Everyone should get a fair shot at what is going on. There are guidelines as flawed as they are, and if they don't even want to follow that, you can imagine the people that we're dealing with when it comes to local content and who's actually benefiting from the resources that Guyanese should all benefit from. So I just want to end on that note.
And we're going to pick up on this and some of the pronouncements by the Chief Justice Roxanne George Wiltshire in our podcast at 12. We're going to pick up on some of this discussion with the PP and local content. And again, double back to what the comments of the private sector as against what's happening in the inland. Folks, we can't do these programs without you. And so we invite you to partner with us, guys, via Cash App and Zelle and PayPal, MNG Monogram and Western Union as well. If you've got any comments, you need any queries answered, folks, 627-6963, the number you wanna dial, your number you wanna call. WhatsApp we is the 21st century, folks. 627-6963. Each donation, folks, keep the program going. Our programs, keep them going, folks. Share the live as you are with us. Smash that emoji button as well. And really, believe it or not,
Yep.
I'm sorry to have you rush off to the Public Accounts Committee, but you know we saw one of the crypto currency organizations tumble over the weekend.
Yes.
Tumble over the weekend. And we can talk a little bit about that too on our podcast today. You know, the
Dollars and cents,
the FFT. Yeah. Lost about $10 billion, crashed and burned over the weekend. They might have overextended themselves. Those are part of the things we're covering. Some of the stuff we're covering.
You have to, you know, this dollar-based, paper-based system is one that is protected. Let me just put it like that. That system is protected tremendously.
Yeah.
So there is no company that can shoot up. And when it comes to cryptocurrency, also like that, the competition within that market also it's deadly. If I can say that, it's deadly. So we understand what is going on.
We understand, folks.
Yeah.
We understand and we overstand. Good to have you folks here with us.
Well, do you land your Thomas? I saw that comment.
Peace and power.
Bye.
Peace and power. Stay safe, guys. We leave you with a shot of, I think it's the Harbour Bridge again. Yep, live shot of the Harbour Bridge, compliments of pixel scanning.